So why don't we continue our conversation from lunch a little bit, or not lunch a little bit, from earlier this week.
I think that's a great idea. I think
Alex wanted to go practice growth. It's a great transition. That's what we were talking about previously, Alex. You also brought up some business dentistry side.
Sure.
Yeah, we were talking about a bunch of different things, but mainly what we were talking about was practice related. And the main thing about, where do you save money? How do you save money? How do you grow your practice? What are the right ways to grow your practice? You know that T-Bone, myself, probably these guys, we don't feel that saving yourself, saving money into prosperity is ever going to work. So that's where we're going to start. So let's go start with practice growth.
Practice growth.
And jump into that. Let's get going, Alex.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of stuff. Practice growth is a very
broad term.
Very broad term.
So let's define a little bit.
I think that if we can keep to this Dentsply Corona World theme and talk about what do we have to offer our patients in order to grow our practice. I mean, that's the bottom line. I'm watching this 3D experience, and as you know, we share a lot of customers, right?
Yeah.
You're my customer, you have multiple practices.
You and I share probably over 1,000.
Quite a bit of customers. T-Bone's a customer as well. So I am studying the growth mode through technology, through being able to deliver a certain type of a service, and been studying implants with you guys. I've been studying
sleep apnea.
I've been to the course 3 times now.
Yeah.
I keep on sneaking in because I need to learn about this, and I'm one of the sleep apnea, also blood pressure, just like T-Bone was talking about, patients. I feel that years ago sleep apnea would get you all noises out of your body, and when you were sleeping outside with the lions, it would keep them away. But today, it'll kill you. It'll kill you. So, Revenue Well looks at practice growth in multiple ways. Number one is patient education, patient awareness, and patient care part of it.
So let me put you on the spot. Between the two, patient education and care, would you say, where would you rank it in terms of offering a multitude of services that you don't have to refer out or that you can do? Where would you put those?
So where I look at things, and
so what I'm saying is, would you go learn those procedures first and then learn to communicate about them, or establish your communication first as you're learning those procedures?
I would need to know
framework.
If I were to do it in our practice, we would first need to learn about it and get into the idea that this is exactly what will help our patients.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So implants, yes, it will help my patients. Sleep apnea, if you look at the staggering numbers of existing patients that you have already, and you're going out and looking for new patients, you need to reevaluate some of your moves, and instead of spending $10,000 a month in ads that are running in newspapers or magazines
to
nearby, to get more new patients.
You can make really good dentistry with the patients.
Why is that so hard for dentists to get?
It's very hard for dentists to get because they don't know. So I'll go back to the question that you asked, is should the dentist first find out what is it their passion to do? You can't be a master of all.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But yes, if you're passionate about saving lives, if you're passionate about doing more than just your dentistry, which is, I'm happy with my ex-wife and wife doing just dentistry. It definitely pays the bills, but they're always looking for more and more in the patient care style. So you need to learn how to talk about it. You need to learn how to get your team aboard on it. You need to learn on how to really relay your message, and you need to learn the salesmanship part of the business. Learn about it first. Then equip yourself to do it. And what does that mean? Buy the technology, learn how to use it, learn the procedures, and go implement it in your practice.
So it sounds like you're talking about investing in yourself more than just a piece of equipment, more than just a piece of technology, more than just a new procedure.
You have to invest. Yeah, you have to buy into it.
Well,
all the way.
So I'm trying to make a point though, because I see a lot of people talking about, well, which CT should I buy because which one's the cheapest, and I want the best thing in my practice, but not really willing to spend a lot of money. And my advice to those folks is, if you can't afford the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in training that you should get in order to properly and predictably use the equipment, why even bother buying it in the first place?
I don't think that they can. It's not the fact that they can't afford it. They get sticker shock on it.
Well, that's interesting, because there is a sticker shock, and there is suddenly we start to say, well, I can't afford this, so I can't possibly bring it into my practice. And whether that's cone beam, or it's a CEREC technology, or it's the training for a new procedure like implants, or even somebody investing in something as low cost and low barrier of entry like sleep training.
Right.
Some people just get hung up on the numbers and say, where is the direct return on investment that I have to see right now? And that's really an unfortunate way to look at it. So part of our goal is really to educate the doctors out there that there's another way of doing it, that we don't have to get so hung up on the purchase price or the point of entry, or what it costs to get into it, because there's so many benefits that will reach the whole length of your career.
My thing is this, because this whole affordability thing always becomes like a lot of the discussion of like, okay, how do you make patients? How do they make it affordable? How do we do this? And there's a ton of things we can do from payment plans, that sort of thing, to help. But what I don't think is discussed enough is most of these people aren't doing continuing education on communication, how to create value for things. And because ultimately we are selling the value of something, and if you can't sell that value to the patient, they're not going to, people buy what they want, not what they need, right? So we have to make them want what we have to offer, and that's not a negative selling way, but for some reason we won't, or very few people will take the time to invest in that area, which frankly has, and I think part of it is because there's not a direct ROI to it. Like I can't take, I can't like
group of people in
an implant course, and now I can place implants, so I know, I'm getting my money's worth. Whereas communication, it's like, think about it.
Actually, there is. Sorry, there is.
Well, that's good to know, because you should. That'd be so helpful, because my thing is like, if I can learn to take each patient and make their value 10% more, then you can grow your practice so much quicker. Plus, you're doing more dentistry that's fun, impactful, the emotional dentistry that T-Bone talks about.
Agreed.
And not necessarily doing more. Because if I bring in more patients, that's more fillings, more drama, more of the stuff I don't want to do.
Absolutely.
More people in my parking lot.
You clog up your schedule with things that you're not super passionate about. And look, there's a need for fillings, and there's a need for crowns. There's a need for all of that.
I'm so glad you started talking, because I was like, I got to get a crab.
But we want to limit that on our time and what we really want. So rather than being reliant on that, it's almost like those procedures should be there just to feed the other type of dentistry that we want to do. Mm-hmm.
So the most important thing is to campaign. Why is it important to campaign? You need to start speaking about it. In the words of T-Bone yesterday, the only way that you're going to get it, Dr. Elliott repeated it multiple times, is start talking to your patients about it. There's two ways you can start talking to your patients about it. One is every time there's a patient in the chair, you spend your precious time, or pre-educating them before they come in. Why not send the information to males that are between the ages of 45 and 65, that are coming in the next 60 to 90 days? Why not drop them information? And if they want to talk to you about it, let's schedule an extra 10 minutes in your time.
So patients might not be surprised if you say, do you snore? Because oftentimes we get look like we have two heads, because why does my dentist care about how I sleep?
You're 100% correct. By pre-marketing, you're educating them. As a matter of fact, you have to be careful, because if you don't mention one or two words in there that they enjoy, they're going to say, hey, how come you didn't say anything about this? And how about you didn't say anything about that?
We now know. One other thing, though, about the education, I think you keep talking about educating the patient. I think oftentimes we educate too much and listen too little. And so when you say education, I would love for you to kind of define that, because
I will
you're
define it
going to
for
get
you.
a titanium post and you're going to do this, and then you
No.
or we're going to, in 4 appointments, we're going to be able to get you a 2 so you can chew better. You show them the outcome versus the actual procedure.
Let me explain what my theory is. You can have somebody explain this for you, like a Casey patient education video, fantastic, or you can do it yourself. I'm a big fan of each doctor explaining their own procedure. That's why we have such a big integration with the YouTube channel, because we're able to attach your YouTube video into your campaign. So now you decide on what's too much and too little. You know, we always talk about that you should keep it down to 30 seconds. I disagree. I'm watching 3-minute videos. Why? Because in the first 30 seconds, okay?
Yeah, I got it.
In the first 30 seconds, I deliver my message. And then I'll tell you, for instance, in your case, this might be, and the other 2.5 minutes, I have full attention.
The morning huddle, let's talk about that real quickly. The morning huddle is something that I see done in a lot of offices, but I see it done without a lot of intention, and there's a lot of reading of the schedule. So Mary's coming in at 9 for a DO on number 2.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo. I can see that when I look at EagleSoft. Tell me something more about Mary. What's going on with her? Is there anything we need to know?
Her kids are not scheduled.
Her kids aren't scheduled.
treatment plans.
Her husband is the policy holder but hasn't scheduled. You know, those kind of things are really, really important.
That's correct.
To know. Okay.
What is our goal for the day? How far are we at? What do we
so
need to do?
it sounds like
do
that
we need
could
to
help
start
us.
marketing? You know, all of these things.
Same-day treatment or adding other teeth from the quadrant.
Well, same-day treatment is never easy, and I'll explain to you why. You have to be the master of the schedule, and you have to have those Italian couillons in order to be able to leave blocks in order to do the same-day treatment.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Otherwise, it's not possible. What are you going to do?
And I'm a huge, my thing is being on time, and so I'm pretty good about mastering the schedule, but we do need to make it better.
The other day, I'm in a practice, and a patient wants to do tooth number 3, 14, 22, and 28. And the doctor has no idea, and the young lady says, well, we can only do half the mouth, so I'm going to schedule you twice. The guy's like, please, I will never come back ever again. I'm so nervous. I'm here. Can we do it all at one time? And she's like, no,
Absolutely.
we have to do only half the mouth at a time, can't anesthetize. And then I hear the doctor, that's not true, that's not true. We have the single tooth anesthesia. But, you know, so you have all these ways of
But
doing.
that's not training the team also to know what's
I
possible.
agree. So we have to train the team.
Yeah.
Team.